In today's video, you're going to hear the remarkable story of a little boy who used his imagination, his thoughts, to manifest a puppy despite his parents' unwillingness. The purpose of these videos about manifestation is really to show you that you are the creator of what happens to you in your life, depending on the thoughts that you think every day and your inner speech. You see, what you think about every day will eventually become your reality. And that is why it is important to train your mind to think the thoughts that will benefit your life, which is what this little boy did in this story. At the end of the story, Neville will explain a little bit more about how to use your thoughts, your consciousness, or your imagination, whatever you want to call it, to produce your desires.
This is the story of a very unexpected result of an interview with a lady who came to consult me. One afternoon, a young grandmother, a businesswoman in New York, came to see me. She brought along her 9-year-old grandson, who was visiting her from his home in Pennsylvania. In response to her questions, I explained the law of assumption, describing in detail the procedure to be followed in attaining an objective. The boy sat quietly, apparently absorbed in a small toy truck. While I explained to the grandmother the method of assuming the state of consciousness that would be hers were her desire already fulfilled, I told her the story of the soldier in camp, who each night fell asleep, imagining himself to be on his own bed in his own home. When the boy and his grandmother were leaving, he looked up at me with great excitement and said, "I know what I want, and now I know how to get it." Surprised, I asked him what it was he wanted. He told me he had his heart set on a puppy. To this, the grandmother vigorously protested, telling the boy that it had been made repeatedly clear that he could not have a dog under any circumstances, that his father and mother would not allow it, that the boy was too young to care for it properly, and furthermore, the father had a deep dislike for dogs. He actually hated to have one around. All of these were arguments the boy, passionately desirous of having a dog, refused to understand. "Now I know what to do," he said. "Every night, just as I am going off to sleep, I am going to pretend that I have a dog and we are going for a walk." "No," said the grandmother, "that is not what Mr. Neville means. This is not meant for you. You cannot have a dog." Approximately 6 weeks later, the grandmother told me what was to her an astonishing story. The boy's desire to own a dog was so intense that he had absorbed all I had told his grandmother of how to attain one's desire. And he believed implicitly that at last he knew how to get a dog. Putting this belief into practice, for many nights the boy imagined a dog was lying in his bed beside him. In imagination, he petted the dog, actually feeling its fur. Things like playing with the dog and taking it for a walk filled his mind. Within a few weeks, it happened. A newspaper in the city in which the boy lived organized a special program in connection with Kindness to Animals Week. All school children were requested to write an essay on why I would like to own a dog. After entries from all the schools were submitted and judged, the winner of the contest was announced. The very same boy who weeks before, in my apartment in New York, had told me, "Now I know how to get a dog," was the winner. In an elaborate ceremony, which was publicized with stories and pictures in the newspaper, the boy was awarded a beautiful collie puppy. In relating this story, the grandmother told me that if the boy had been given the money with which to buy a dog, the parents would have refused to do so, and would have used it to buy a bond for the boy or put it in the savings bank for him. Furthermore, if someone had made the boy a gift of a dog, they would have refused it or given it away. But the dramatic manner in which the boy had got the dog, the way he won the citywide contest, the stories and pictures in the newspaper, the pride and achievement of the boy himself, all combined to bring about a change of heart in the parents, and they found themselves doing that which they never conceived possible, they allowed him to keep the dog. All this the grandmother explained to me, and she concluded by saying that there was one particular kind of dog on which the boy had set his heart. It was a collie. Only through one door can that which you seek pass into the world of manifestation. I am the door. Your consciousness is the door, so you must become conscious of being and having that which you desire to be and to have. Any attempt to realize your desires in ways other than through the door of consciousness makes you a thief and a robber unto yourself. Any expression that is not felt is unnatural. Before anything appears, God, I am, feels itself to be the thing desired, and then the thing felt appears. It is resurrected, lifted out of the nothingness. Our imagination connects us with the state desired. But we must use imagination masterfully, not as an onlooker thinking of the end, but as a partaker thinking from the end. We must actually be there in imagination. If we do this, our subjective experience will be realized objectively. This is not mere fancy, said he, but a truth you can prove by experience. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein, on Science. Determined imagination, thinking from the end, is the beginning of all miracles. But a miracle is only the name given by those who have no knowledge of the power and function of imagination to the works of imagination. Imagining oneself into the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the means by which a new state is entered. This gives the state the quality of isness. There is no stopping the man who can think from the end. Nothing can stop him. He creates the means and grows his way out of limitation into ever greater and greater mansions of the Lord. It does not matter what he has been or what he is. All that matters is, what does he want? He knows that the world is a manifestation of the mental activity which goes on within himself, so he strives to determine and control the ends from which he thinks. In his imagination he dwells in the end, confident that he shall dwell there in the flesh also. He puts his whole trust in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and lives by committing himself to that state. Knowing that every desire is ripe grain to him who knows how to think from the end, he is indifferent to mere reasonable probability, and confident that through continuous imagination his assumptions will harden into fact. Your world is your consciousness objectified. Waste no time trying to change the outside. Change the within or the impression, and the without or expression will take care of itself. When the truth of this statement dawns upon you, you will know that you have found the lost word or key to every door. Here is an analogy that might help you to see this mystery. Suppose you entered a motion picture theater just as the feature picture came to its end. All that you saw of the picture was the happy ending. Because you wanted to see the entire story, you waited for it to unfold again. With the anticlimactic sequence, the hero is displayed as accused, surrounded by false evidence, and all that goes to wring tears from the audience. But you, secure in the knowledge of the ending, remain calm with the understanding that regardless of the seeming direction of the picture, the end has already been defined. In like manner, go to the end of that which you seek. Witness the happy end of it by consciously feeling that you express and possess that which you desire to express and possess. And you, through faith, already understanding the end, will have confidence born of this knowledge. This knowledge will sustain you through the necessary interval of time that it takes the picture to unfold. Ask help of no man. Feel it is done by consciously claiming yourself to be now that which you hope to be. I am that I am,